Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Adaptapals. Yep, that's the name we're going with, Adaptapals.
I like it.
I like it too. My name is Jack, otherwise known as A Forgotten Donut, and here we have the streamer Dustin Caldwell.
I am Dustin Caldwell, the streamer. Very famous one day. Thank you.
Not
Thank you for
quite yet.
being here. Welcome if you're listening.
We very much appreciate you all giving this a download, giving it a listen. We won't do the plugs just yet. We'll do that. We'll save that for the end, because what is the idea of this podcast, Dustin?
What's the idea? Oh my god. So, we really like movies and we like comics and we like gaming and stuff and we like those characters in those movies and comics and games. And we like adaptations, or maybe we don't like adaptations, but
We like some
essentially
adaptations.
we want to see if we can adapt some of these characters. Like, we want to pitch ideas for adaptations. That's why we're the Adaptapals, because we're two pals pitching adaptations. So, like, what if Batman was a puzzle game or something like that, which we might get to one day. Not today though. But yeah,
What are we
it's
doing
like
today, Dustin?
today it's topical because Venom Let There Be Carnage is on the way. We're looking at the character Venom, famous comic book character created by Todd McFarlane, and thinking about what if we put him into our own video games, or we designed a video game around him, and what that would kind of look like. It's mainly video games, movies to video games, maybe in books to video games, but we'll see. So,
See how we go. First, let's go through the structure of the podcast. First, we're going to go through a rough history of the appearances of this character in video games. Next, we're each going to pitch our own idea for what we'd like to see these characters in. So, what kind of video game would we like to see Venom in? And finally, we are going to spin the wheel of random genres, where we're going to have to put Venom into a who knows what kind of genre video
could
game.
be anything. We have like at least 15 to choose
Is
from.
Venom going to be a battle royale game? It could be. We've got to figure out how that would work.
He's in a battle royale game. Is he not in Fortnite?
Oh god, I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he is.
I'll believe it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that was
think
pretty
Venom's in
easy,
it.
huh? See you
Yeah,
next week.
see you next week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in Fortnite. And you can buy
Damn.
him, and it probably costs like 20 real world dollars to play as him
Almost
in
certainly.
Fortnite. Would you play as Venom in Fortnite?
Uh,
'Cause
probably.
I'm pretty sure I would if I had the money. Like, if I had the job and everything, I'd probably get the Venom skin.
It
Um,
sounds pretty cool.
I got all the skins. Got the
Oh
Terminator.
no, are
That's
you
cool.
all in
Yeah,
Fortnite?
I'm pretty into Fortnite. Maybe 150 hours. So those are rookie numbers, but I played far too much Fortnite.
And you
Um,
haven't even streamed it yet. What are you doing?
I did stream it.
Did you? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, way
You should
back
stream
when
it
I
more.
was small. I think I will. I've liked streaming it, and people seem to enjoy it. And it's
Venom.
stressful as well. Yeah,
We've gone
streaming.
on our first tangent. What's Venom?
Yes. What's Venom?
Venom.
Venom.
When did he first
Venom.
appear?
Well, in the comic books, it was 1988 in a story that was called the alien suit. Well, that wasn't the name of the story. That's what he appeared as. He was like the alien costume. Created by Todd McFarlane, as mentioned before. And that was in April of '88. And then he was in his first video game not 2 years later. Well, 2 years later in 1990. And
That's
what
really
was
soon.
that was really, really quick.
Because
What
he
was that?
became a fan favorite character pretty quickly. Eddie Brock is the most common Venom.
He is.
The kind of childhood, depending on the origin, childhood friend or kind of frenemy of Peter Parker, who
Yes.
turned on each other once he got the suit from Peter to become Venom and all that stuff.
But
But there's been other.
how did he get the suit from Peter?
Well, Peter Parker was. He had this weird black suit from space, and it was
Beating
making
up
him a
his
bit
girlfriend.
evil. In the film, yeah, that was a shame. That was
Bad.
bad. It's a bad movie. And yeah,
Yeah,
then
so
Peter was
he
like, "Oh, this is making me evil and shit. So I'm gonna get rid of that." And Eddie Brock thought, "Man, I hate Spider-Man and I hate Peter Parker. Imagine if they were the same person." This symbiote walks up and he's like, "Yo, I have some incredible. You're not gonna even believe this."
Peter Parker is Spider-Man because I've been up inside his head.
Eddie was like, "That is the best news ever. Let's like team up because you hate Spider-Man for ditching you, and I
And
hate
I hate
Spider-Man for
Spider-Man.
various reasons depending on the iteration."
It's
He becomes
various,
Venom.
like, it's like jealousy, right? It's not really a
It's a
It's
lot of
not a
different
real.
things.
It's not like Peter Parker actually did something horrible to him.
Well, there was one where, like, in Spectacular Spider-Man, he's trying to destroy this alien. He
Right.
ruined, I think he ruined Kurt Connor's research. Like, Eddie
Yeah.
kind of blamed him for that, which is fair. Eddie has some really good motivation in that
I
show.
like Eddie in that. It's actually, well, that's my inspiration for today. You'll
Oh,
see. You'll
lovely.
see what I mean. I like all the Venom stuff in that show. That's pretty much my only experience with Venom, is that show and Spider-Man 3 and 2018's Venom.
Ooh,
And now hopefully 2021's Let There Be Carnage.
a film that
Um,
looks genuinely awful.
it looks terrible. I was watching that trailer and I'm like, "Whew, this is rough." And then you read the comments and people are like, "Oh my god, it's so adorable and he's cooking for him." I'm like, "No, it's not." Um,
Really
I don't
bad.
think it looks good. Yeah, I think that it looks pretty bad. But we're talking about gaming, so
Mhm.
tell us about the Venom games that you've played, because I
You
don't
haven't
play
played
Venom
any,
games.
apparently.
Never played any. Never played a game with Venom.
That's wild.
Yeah, sucks because I'm sure they're good.
Get on that. My first experience with Venom in video games was, as I would think a lot of people, that would be Ultimate Spider-Man, which
Okay.
is a really cool game. I think it came out for like PlayStation 2, that kind of era, and it was open world. It had come after Spider-Man 2, the movie tie-in game. So it had very similar web swinging,
Ah,
and you swapped between playing as Peter and Spider-Man and playing as Venom,
that's
which is
cool.
really dope.
Were
I
you Venom
believe
or Black Suit Spider-Man?
you were regular Spider-Man and Black Suit, and Venom, sorry.
Oh wow,
Regular
okay.
Spider-Man, and then you would swap in between levels and you'd play as Venom. So you'd run
Oh,
around, like, I think it was open world. You could run around eating people because your health was constantly diminishing.
that's
So you had to run
cool.
around and eat civilians and shit, including like children. It was a bit fucked.
What's this game? What is this game rated?
PG, I think. It's based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comics.
Sounds really
Um,
dark.
I can't talk about the PlayStation 2 version because I played it on the Game Boy Advance, which was
Ooh.
also a really, really fun game.
Would you
It-
say that you
ah,
probably left people like a turd in the wind?
you better believe it. Rolling around with no arms and no legs, like a
Like a
turd.
turd in the wind.
Awful. What a terrible film that was.
That's a great line. That's insane that that was okay in a game in like what 2005, I guess.
Yeah,
That
around that I would
PS2
say.
era. When
Yeah,
did PS2 come out?
it was pretty heavy.
That's
Actually, I can actually
crazy.
get when it came out. Give us one moment. It came out in, yeah, 2005.
Plus,
You nailed it.
far out. I'm great. So
You
that's like late PlayStation 2 era then technically, because
Yeah, it was
then
pretty later on.
that's insane. They're just like, oh yeah, you can just eat children and other people to
It's
be
super good
healthy.
shit. I
I
remember the
do like,
first ever level, like the very first level, the tutorial level,
yeah,
is you're playing as Peter Parker, not even Spider-Man, fighting Venom in like
right,
it's raining. It's just when Eddie has taken the symbiote and it's their big kind of final fight. And it's a
okay,
heavy shit. It's really good. You assume that
that's
Eddie
cool.
Brock dies, but he actually comes back. He's fine.
That's
Really
comic
good.
book characters for you.
You better believe it.
But I love that in games. I love that. So like the PS4 Spider-Man lets you play as Peter Parker. I like that a lot. Um, I like when games and sort of comic book stories and movies they focus on the person behind the mask. Like the Arkham games
Hmm,
don't do that very well, I would say, and that's something that I was really happy about in Spider-Man. When so you get to be Peter Parker for a decent chunk, and it's
that
really
is fun.
interesting. So it's cool that this game was. So did you say it's called Ultimate Spider-Man? It's
Ultimate
cool that it
Spider-Man.
was Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Venom. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I would
There
like to
was
play this game.
it's apparently really good. A lot of people say. I mean, I played it on the Game Boy, and it was great on the Game Boy, but it might not be
Right.
the best way to play it.
Because there's better versions. The best way to play
Maybe.
it's an emulator on your PC, buddy.
Absolutely, it is. If I can get it to work. I mean, what? I don't download that.
Nobody does emulators. Nintendo will kill us.
Pff, God no. He's also made an appearance in a game. I'm surprised you haven't played this Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
No, I haven't.
Kind
I
of like
want
a
to. I
yeah.
almost bought Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh, it's not great.
Um, Not great, I've heard. I don't know if he's in it anyways, but yeah, I've never played Ultimate. Well, I've played it, like once. I've played like some of these games, once, just like for 20 minutes at a friend's house or at like a youth group or something. But not like properly.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Originally,
sounds
he
like
was a
I'm not a
DLC.
gamer, but I am a gamer.
Yeah, it really does. Originally, he was DLC, only available for the
Right.
Xbox, I think. But in these new remastered versions that you can get on the PS4 and Xbox One, I believe that he. No, you can play as him. I have played as him. He
Okay,
is
cool.
fine. He's
Does he
fine.
play as I'm assuming it's like a Spider-Man reskin?
No, no, he's his own character,
Oh wow,
which is really cool. He also
that
makes
is
an appearance
cool.
in Ultimate Alliance 2, which I haven't played a whole lot of. But yeah, they do a good job of making each of them quite unique.
That's good. They should put him in like Mortal Kombat. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would work
Bite
really
somebody's head
well.
off. It would work really well.
Except he's already in the series Capcom versus Marvel. He makes
Of
quite
course
an
he
appearance in
is.
all of those. I haven't played many of those games, but
I've not
they're
played
probably
any of
fun.
them. They're fighting games. They're for a certain niche, certain group of gamers who
And
like.
as Dustin is clearly not a gamer, he hasn't played them.
I've not played. I'm learning that I'm not a gamer today.
Yeah, that's something to find out, huh?
Yeah,
So we've got
that's
Spider-Man
shocking.
Web of Shadows as well,
I
where
haven't
you
played it, but
yeah,
I watched a good amount of a playthrough on YouTube when I was like 15 or something or 14.
it's good fun. It's a bit
It looked
wild, but
awesome.
it's really cool. Being able to swap between the black suit and the regular suit, it's good. It's good shit. Kind of
Right.
having that Paragon Renegade system, which
Okay.
might come back later. Cough
So a
cough.
little
Who
bit like
knows?
Infamous. Hopefully,
A little bit
that'd be sick.
intimacy. Yeah,
Oh, how good would it be if in Spider-Man 2 they like the new Spider-Man 2
mm.
they did? Oh, maybe it wouldn't.
It was
I got
fine
really
in this. It
excited. Yeah,
wasn't.
okay.
It wasn't perfect. It
I have
had
to
some
say.
weird stuff.
I got excited for a second thinking, oh, it'd be cool to have a morality system in like a Spider-Man game with like Venom and Spider-Man, like Black Suit Spider-Man. But then I thought, you know what? I like a linear narrative that doesn't sort of make me make decisions and change the outcome. I like that because then on replays I'll always just end up playing the same. So I just like the story being exactly the same.
Well, that's some bad news. Anyway, moving on. We've also got
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, the video game, which comical, I would call
Would
that
you
game.
um would you like to hear a fun fact?
I would love to hear a fun fact.
Haven't played it.
What? That is shocking.
Yeah.
Truly astounding.
I've seen some of the quick time events, so they're funny.
Oh yeah, they're classic. I played it on the PlayStation 2. I don't remember
Yep.
it being as bad as a lot of people say it is. Because again, it had you playing as Spider-Man and you could swap between the black and the red suit, which is always a good
So
time. I
cool.
love doing that. And Venom was the main bad guy at the end of that, but much like the film, he didn't really make much of an appearance. He was just kinda
And
there.
you probably ended up blowing him up with a pumpkin bomb.
Almost certainly. The one other thing we
There's
should probably mention, I don't think either of us have played it, but we'd be remiss to mention
remiss, yes.
Maximum Carnage for the
I've heard people
SNES.
go nuts
A
about
lot
this
of people's
game.
favorite. So we kind of got to talk about it because if not, we'll get in trouble.
Yes, there will be angry
Oh, actually,
people.
one more. I'm going through the list. One more that I can't believe I forgot. Spider-Man and Spider-Man Enter Electro for the PlayStation 1.
Again, heard of it? Never
Ah,
played it.
I love those games. It's so weird. I found out this fact, I think, on a
Yeah.
Godzilla Mendoza video.
Oh, he's excellent.
He's so good. Um, the Venom in that was voiced by the same guy. Have you seen Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah, of course.
Cosmo. Cosmo voices Venom in that. And he does a really good job, but as soon as I found it out, I couldn't take him seriously anymore.
What's that voice actor's name?
Ah, that's such a good question.
Let me
I
find out. Fairly Odd
yeah, let's find out.
Parents.
While I talk about that,
Cast.
how much I love that game, and my weird experience with it. The second one I've played a lot more of because I had it on the PlayStation 1. The first one
Yeah.
I had on PC and it was broken. I could get up to the second level. Well, first his appearance, pretty much what I saw of it is that Doc Ock or Doctor Octavius at the time is doing a presentation, kind of revealing this cool technological thing, and then Spider-Man comes in and steals it, which
Okay.
is weird because Peter Parker is in the crowd, and he's saying, "Hang on a minute, that that can't be that can't be Spider-Man. What do you mean?
Because here I
I
am.
am
So
the
it's
Spider-Man."
probably the chameleon in it.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
And it also shows Eddie Brock in the crowd being like, "Oh, I hate Spider-Man. I'm justified for being Spider-Man. Also, I'm Venom."
Right.
And that's the most I've seen of it because in the second level, you have to go. I think the Scorpion has kept J. Jonah Jameson hostage, and you're meant to
That's ironic.
break into the window of the building and save J. Jonah Jameson. Except the PC version that I had was glitched in that Spider-Man didn't spawn in the building; he spawned outside of the building
Um,
and would just immediately fall to his death every time I loaded.
and
So
what
it
was
was really
that game
bad.
called? Did you say?
That was just called Spider-Man in
Just Spider-Man.
2001, I believe.
Oh, is that like the original Spider-Man game?
Not like based on the
Not like
movie.
the original, but like that's like the one that came out before Spider-Man won the movie game or whatever.
Correct, yeah. It's Spider-Man from the 2000. My mistake.
Yeah.
From the 2000. Great English there, Jack.
Yeah, you're smart. That's a weird game if it's the one I'm thinking of. I've seen footage or whatever.
A lot of
Um
fun.
yeah, and it's a lot of swinging on skyboxes probably. If there's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Couldn't land on the ground because there was fog underneath and you just immediately die.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it. Ah,
Oh, and he would make this great. I'm going to try and imitate it.
here
Every
we
time
go.
he'd fall, he'd made this weird. And it made me laugh every time. Just
I
the
didn't
weird inflection.
I didn't hear what you did.
Oh, I'm sorry, hang on.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know why. I don't know why it made me
Nice.
laugh every time. Just
Well,
this oh. It's really good.
just before we move on, unless
Mhm.
is that the last one?
That's the last one I think I want to talk
Cool.
about.
Well, before we move on, I found out Darren Norris was the voice you were looking for as Cosmo and Venom. Um,
Aaron Norris, good man.
and then
Oh, he
Tara
also
Strong was Timmy Turner and the Fairly Odd Parents.
yeah, Tara Strong's awesome.
Yeah, she
She's the
is.
best.
I just didn't know that. I feel like I've
She's
found
so
that
good.
out, and I always learn it, and I'm like, huh, Tara Strong, and then I forget. And Tom
And the
Kenny
next
was
time
in
you
it
look it up,
too.
you're like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm
Uh,
such a Fairly Odd Parents nerd and fan. I
you know it.
watch it all the time.
Danny Phantom was better.
Um, I've never seen it.
It's really good.
Didn't really have a
Probably really cheesy.
childhood,
Yeah,
apparently.
you didn't play games or watch TV shows, clearly.
Yeah, and that's me. I don't watch games or play TV shows anymore.
Yep,
And
watch
yeah,
games or play TV shows, absolutely.
I said what I said. Um,
Mhm,
just before we jump into our pitches, though,
mhm.
I think there's interesting gaming developments happening this week. Unrelated to Venom, but just it's a gaming podcast, so we may as well update you with gaming news.
It's
God
the
of War
game
was
break.
delayed. It's game break. Because
News
E3
break,
is
I
on the
probably should have
way.
said
News
more.
break, game break? Yeah, news break, game break. God of War,
Mhm.
Ragnarok, in news that no one saw coming, has been delayed um,
What?
to 2022. When that
Truly
game got
shocking.
announced, I was like, if that comes out in 2021, I'll eat my hat. No, I don't have to eat my hat.
No, that's I
Um,
when I heard that news, I was like, "Oh man, it's delayed to 2023. That's a while away." But fair enough. I delayed to 2022. What? I genuinely
lol.
just assumed that it was coming out.
Oh,
There was no chance it was coming out this year. Come on.
wow. I thought if it was going to come out this year, it would be like a PS4 and PS5 cross-gen release, you know? That's what I thought. And if it was
Mhm.
to come out next year, it'd just be a PS5 exclusive. Now it's coming out next year, and it's a PS5 and PS4 cross-gen release. And I'm like, don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
Anyways,
who knows? It
that's in
will
gaming
be fine.
news. And E3's on the way, so get hyped for that.
Game break, news
Moving
break.
on.
Dustin, you have an
Yes,
idea.
I have an idea for a Venom game.
It's
And I
time for
feel like
Dustin's
I'm.
pitch.
This is time for Dustin's pitch. I feel like I'm cheating, and it's the first episode, but I don't know.
We have no
So
established
I
rules for
thought
how this
of.
works. Okay,
There's no rules.
let's do our one rule at the moment.
Not
Maybe
killing
maybe
people.
this will change. That man's one rule. We have the one rule. It may change later, but
Yes.
whatever character has to feature prominently.
Yeah,
That is our
like
one
as
rule.
hero. Well, yeah, hero villain doesn't matter. They just have to be central to the plot.
Oh, yeah, just central, because like you can't just
Yeah,
have him as like the final boss battle. I don't
and I
think.
think in my game, in my idea, I think he is. So
Okay,
essentially,
we're cheating a
I've
bit, but that's okay.
envisioned. Yeah. So you remember the episode of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man Intervention, where
Not by name,
um
but
basically Peter Parker he's had the black suit on and he's starting to treat people like a dick,
mhm.
classic Venom stuff. And he realizes, oh my god, I'm being an asshole. So he goes to the church. He's like, you know what? You want redemption? Get Jesus or whatever. Nah, but so he goes to the church and he hits the bell in anger, and then the symbiote starts coming off of him. But then it gets in, like it goes and cocoons him and goes into his brain basically and
Yeah.
infects him. So I envisioned Venom as a first-person survival horror type situation, similar
Okay.
to not even survival horror because you don't want dealing with items and stuff. More like games like Layers of Fear and maybe even a little
Right.
bit Resident Evil-y. So that's where
Makes
maybe
sense.
get a bit of that
Topical.
survival horror stuff. Yeah. So I thought be a short experience, no more than 3 to 5 hours.
Is
It's
Venom also going to be like 8 foot tall and have big old titans?
oh yeah, Lady Venom.
Good stuff.
Wait, that's
Good
a
stuff.
thing.
It don't remind me.
Lady Dimmer Venom. So my idea is you play as Peter Parker and you're fighting against the symbiote. It's like a mental battle. Got first person, it's horror, and you got to kind of escape and everything and get out of your
Huh.
your sort of mental prison.
Your own mind.
I Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Just an interesting way to do the symbiote. So the Resident Evil type thing, I thought that would be cool if you had like a tyrant, like Mr. X or Lady Dimitrescu,
Mm.
chasing you around, and that's like Venom, but it's essentially like a big symbiote monster. It is Venom, but obviously it might have the spider. I guess it's Venom.
Kind
It's
of
not Eddie Brock, but
alien
it's
isolation-y.
yeah, that too. I did think of that. And that would also be sick. Have some of that thick AI programming from Alien Isolation. Just that would be creepy.
For anyone
And
who
then it could
doesn't know,
dribble.
I gotta
Oh,
tell it because it's the best thing
yes,
ever.
tell it. This is amazing.
It was in a thread of like game design secrets, and it had a bunch of the more common ones like, oh, we always make the last bullet in a magazine double power so that it feels
Really?
like you've lost. A lot of games do that. We'll make the last shot in the magazine double power so it feels like, oh, I shot him with the last bullet. God, I was lucky.
Ah,
Just to make the character, the gamer feel better
that's so
about their
cool.
sad little life. So one of them was really cool, and it was about alien isolation and how the alien AI works. Basically, there are two AIs working together. One of them, two brains almost, this alien has. One of them has no idea where you are, and that's the one that controls the body. It is just looking for you. If it sees you, obviously, it's like, hey, look, there you are.
Yeah,
But
look, there you are.
if you're going through, if you're running through hallways, it doesn't know where you are. The other one, the other AI brain, knows exactly where you are at all times and
Right.
basically gives the other AI hints as to where you are.
That's just insanely cool.
That's a wild, like, to be able to program two AI brains in the same body and for one of them to just go, hey, maybe just chuck a left, maybe. Who knows? He might be left.
Maybe you don't have to, but it's up to you. Might be beneficial, might not. That's
Oh,
so cool.
I wonder if he's anywhere where maybe cooking happens. I don't know for sure, but like I would look somewhere with pots and pans
And
if
then
you might find
then
him.
you have to have all that stuff programmed in. If it's clues, you have to have everything that could be a clue programmed in as well.
It's wild.
That's so cool.
It's
Not
insane.
happening in my game. No, I'm joking. That would be so good in my game.
Just steal the AI. Yeah.
Yeah, it would make it even better because essentially, because I was also like, how do you kind of like, what's the goal? Yeah, I thought play collects mementos or something that connects him to like Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Connects him to the things that
Okay.
Peter loves, and then he kind of like that uses those to solve puzzles or something that allows him to like overthrow the symbiote and get it get it off his body, and then you can end the game with like a little cutscene where Eddie Brock runs in. Is like, "I'm here to get you, Peter. I'm here to get you, Parker," and then the symbiote ends up on him. Um, But I thought it
Interesting.
would have to be short because horror games, I think, in my experience, have been best when they're really short.
Yep.
Short and sweet, and they're creepy. If you've ever played a game called Layers of Fear, I'd love to
I haven't.
see so in that you basically the map changes a lot, and it happens in a lot of games, but that's all about paintings and everything. But it's just like
Right.
things change and there's time loops and stuff, and it's weird.
So I
Um,
have an idea. What if,
yeah,
because I want to talk through the pictures. I assumed
yeah.
that would be cool. All I could think of was having like not a traditional health bar, but like a meter almost, and
Antimeter.
having two sides of this meter fight each other. Where like when you
Oh,
get hit by Venom slash the symbiote, your health goes down and the Venom control goes up, and maybe you start
yeah,
seeing more shit. You'll see the tendrils reaching out of walls, and you'll see,
yeah,
it
absolutely.
kind of affects the level. But if you're more in control of your mindset, if you've got 80% of the bar and the little venom is 20%, then maybe it'll have little hints for you, you know?
Yeah, and you see more of a clear idea of reality or something. Like
Yeah,
because in the show, he goes to all sort of different locations and relives events and everything. Like when he got bitten by the spider and when he and like that kind of thing. So he's like, oh, maybe I don't want to get bitten by the spider, but eventually he learns he has to be Spider Man type thing. It's a great
right.
Uncle Ben episode as well. So I'd love to incorporate that into a game.
That'd be
Um,
interesting.
and then you kind of it reinforces why he's Spider-Man. It is the origin for Venom proper. And also it's like a great little horror experience because it's Venom, like he looks creepy. I feel like it'd just be awesome, you're sitting there at 3 a.m. getting stalked around your bedroom by Venom. Um,
It's pretty fucking terrifying.
yeah, so I think that's my pitch. That's like what I would do.
What would be the final, like, ending? How
I
would it
think
end?
the
Is
story
there a
would
fight?
end when you've
You've
sort
collected these
of I
memento
think it'd be
memories.
mementos or something. I don't want it to be I don't want. I hate I don't want it to be like the Slender Man game where you got to collect the pages. Mementos is just a thing that popped in my head. I'm like, you got to get something that then helps you complete puzzles to then get out.
I didn't even think of Slender, but have you just ripped off Slender a bit?
No, I'm more ripping off of Layers of Fear and Resident Evil is what I would like to think. So I think it'd be
Okay.
collecting bits and pieces of items and stuff of your
Mhm.
past that then allow you to complete puzzles to then get out of the brain, and that would physically in the game be escape exiting the building or something, but
Right. That's
mentally for
interesting.
Peter, yeah, I think it's interesting. Um, I've just been playing a lot of Resident Evil recently and stuff like that in horror games, so I'm like, Venom is a horror game, and I also want it to be less typical because obviously the go-to is oh well, you set it in New York, and then you have a big hopefully this isn't. Hope this isn't your pitch, but it's just like you
Uh,
set it in
uh,
a
uh.
set it in New York, and then you just swing around the city of Venom. Like that's what everyone wants, and I feel like it'd be cool to see something a bit different.
Okay.
Um, it's yeah. Anyways,
So
I
it'd be
think it'd be
set in his
cool.
mindscape, and the
Essentially, yeah,
locations would change depending on what
yeah,
mementos you have. That's really
yeah,
cool.
and depending on the different as you go through the short story or whatever, and the more you go insane or the more Venom takes over, like you said, like your idea, then you could have that influence the game world around you, getting more tendrils, and maybe everything starts to go black with the symbiote and everything.
Your
I think it
vision
would just be
starts to
cool.
fade, and maybe you see
Yeah,
him. Oh, a really cool thing would be like walking up to a mirror, and you start to see like the tendrils reaching up across your face,
yeah,
kind of like
that'd be
taking control.
that'd be very cool.
I like it. I like that idea a lot. I would really like to
Thank
see that.
you. But that will never happen.
No.
I also have a great idea for a Daredevil game. So if we ever do Daredevil, this
Yeah,
is one
maybe
that'll never
this
happen
is
either.
is this
Um,
Daredevil adaptable? I don't fucking think so,
no,
alright?
I don't think so.
Moving the fuck on.
All right, let's hear yours. I'm really excited.
Okay. Um so mine's set in New York and you swing around a but no.
Oh, nice. I'm
Uh
gonna make this game will sell 10 million copies first day.
yours is very niche, I feel. It is very much for
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Spider-Man
it's so
fan.
niche. Yeah, it is so like no, I was gonna say indie, but it's just like a niche thing. Like, oh, you want an interesting experience? Yeah.
I'm going for a bit more of a broad appeal, I think.
Okay.
I have been playing a lot of Mass Effect lately since the Legendary Edition came
Ooh.
out. And as we mentioned earlier, there was the Spider-Man who had a Renegade and Paragon option, a good and bad option, which doesn't really work because Spider-Man's just a hero, you know?
Yes.
Even in Mass Effect, sometimes the Renegade options don't make sense because you're meant to be this war hero and you're just a dick for no real reason.
It's
I feel
PTSD.
like, I guess, you look fair. I feel like Venom is a perfect character who does constantly kind of wrestle with his morality. Similar into like Infamous, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do a Venom RPG. It'd probably
Ooh.
be more linear with maybe some like open spaces, you know?
Yeah.
It's not really an open world, but you'd maybe have
Semi-open world.
8 or 9 levels that are big.
Yeah.
And it would have that kind of like good or bad decision making.
Right.
Because Venom is an anti-hero. And you've got that Eddie Brock side who kind of wants to do good sometimes, and then you got that Venom who's like, I kind of want to do evil
Wants to eat
sometimes.
lobsters in a fish tank in the lobster tank. Yeah.
Fuck, yep, yep. Terrible film. Stop reminding me that awful film exists.
Yeah.
I would love to do
S-
because
Be
Venom has
cool.
to eat people sometimes to like recharge, to be fed.
Yeah,
So
and
I
to
feel like
live.
having a system of how symbiote are you going to get, or can the humanity side of you win out? It's similar in concept to yours, but a different way of doing it.
A
Where you've
different
got
like
Eddie Brock.
what's the gameplay style? Is it just like third person and
I think third person action,
yeah?
kind of like brawler, that kind of stuff.
Do you ever
You
play
go into that.
Vampire?
No.
Okay, so this sounds quite similar, which is cool because I love that game and
Oh, cool.
I will stand by that statement. But it's like
Hmm.
you're a vampire and you have to decide if you're going to drink blood or if you're going to not drink blood, and that affects how powerful you get or how powerful you don't get and stuff like that. And that's
Dope.
really interesting, and it's very much story driven. So yeah,
Okay,
I would
let's
love
do
that with
that, but
Venom.
Venom.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Because
I
having those
do.
decisions, like,
It's
and because it's an RPG, you get upgrades and shit. So
yeah,
if you go for more humanity side, you might have upgrade. Oh, sorry, I meant to mention this as well. There have been cases of Venom being good, like Agent Venom. That's a Flash
right.
Thompson. He works for the government. He does missions. Is he always fully good? No, but he's definitely on the good side. But then you have Venom as a bad guy, so I feel it plays into that.
So I don't actually know much about Agent Venom at all. So that's really really interesting.
I
I
don't know
just
a
hear him
whole
get
lot.
mentioned every now and then. I
Yeah,
think
I've read a
pe-
couple, but
people like
not
him.
enough. He's fine.
Okay,
He has a cool suit
I
design.
don't. I, I don't read comics or play video games. Just remember.
Or movies. I forgot.
Or movies. I don't do
Yeah, you
anything.
don't do anything. You stare at a wall, a blank wall, and you're like, "This is
Yeah.
good. I enjoy this."
Who's
Yeah, I
Venom?
feel
I
like
don't know.
no, dude. Have you seen this little paint chip? I love it.
I called
Uh,
this paint chip. I called this paint chip Venom, and that's where my game came from.
that's what it
No,
is.
but I do. Yeah, I love the idea of
Yeah, I think having
well,
upgrades too of like as you get more bad guy, maybe you've got more powerful upgrades, but if you've got
yeah,
good
very
guy, you're kind
infamous.
of more protection. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I
And
got a question for you. It's a really
yes,
important one.
absolutely. Hmm.
All right, is it going to be loot?
No, God no. Fuck that.
Good. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Absolutely not.
Are you
No,
going to be
skill
able to
trees all the
pick up
way.
a new Venom mask that gives you
Fuck
more
no.
points?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Go away.
this sounds like a really cool game. I would play this.
I feel like there wouldn't be much customization in the way that he looks, but like as you got more good guy, the design would change. As you got more bad
Yeah.
guy, the symbiote would start having tendrils come out off of it, start looking real
Oh,
gross.
that'd be so sick. Or maybe you get bigger and stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah, you get bigger, you get a lot more spindly. Whereas if
Would
you're more
Spider-Man
human,
feature in the game?
I think he would, but as a bit part. He wouldn't be massive.
Right.
But one of the decisions would be to fight him or side with him at one point.
Make the ending really dark and just eat Spider-Man at the end.
Oh, if you go full bad guy, if you go full symbiote, maybe you do. Maybe you eat the
Maybe.
world.
and then you rule the world, a world with no hope and no Spider-Man.
I haven't really thought of who the bad guy would be, which is probably a
Yeah,
problem.
that's always I guess it's do you put him up against, like, another comic book character, or do you invent a bad guy like they did for the movie? They didn't invent a bad guy, it was what was his name?
Riot?
Riot or something, but he's just like another symbiote.
He is in the comics,
Yeah,
but I
but
don't
it's
think he's
like,
whatever businessman he is.
yeah, he's just like that sciencey dude in the movie. I don't know what his name was. He's just a evil scientist because comic book movie. It's a
I
very
feel like
unoriginal comic book movie.
the bad guys of this game would probably be because I've always preferred, and this is maybe a controversial statement, I don't know. I've always preferred the origin of Venom, the symbiote, not to be coming from space.
Can't
My
believe that you
favorite
would say
one,
something so controversial.
and yet so brave.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fair. I was doing a bit.
I know, I know. I got you knowing your
Yeah.
stress. I'll get it. I'll get you for it later. Don't worry. But there was one in the Ultimate Comics, which was my personal favorite, and it was that Eddie
Yeah,
Brock and Peter Parker's dads were looking for a cure for cancer, and they made this suit that was meant to heal you, but it kind of did the opposite. They
right.
fucked up, and I really like
Hate
that as
you.
an origin
Yeah.
because I
Then
believe
how
that.
does Eddie get it in that? Does he just,
So Peter
like,
Parker slash Spider-Man finds out about it
right?
and is like, "Oh my god, I want to work on it. I'm going to call my childhood buddy Eddie, who's another
Okay.
scientist. We should finish our father's work." But then
Right.
the symbiote gets loose, jumps onto Spider-Man, turns Spider-Man a bit evil, and Spider-Man's like, "I like this thing. I'm gonna keep it because this is great." Whereas to Eddie,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
like, "Holy shit, Spider-Man just took our father's work. Fuck, fuck Spider-Man. I hate him.
Yeah.
Oh, now I've lost all my grant money. Fuck Spider-Man. I hate him." Then when
And
Spider-Man's like, "Oh, this is actually really bad. I need to put this away." Eddie finds out that it was Peter who stole it, who
yeah.
ruined his life, hates them both.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
really like that
And
origin because it makes it a bit more
what's
personal.
this story called, if anybody listening wanted to have a read of it?
This is the Ultimate Spider-Man run. It's
Okay.
pretty early on. I want to say I don't know exact issue numbers, but I don't believe it's higher than 30.
Okay, cool.
And I might be misremembering some
Yeah,
of the
sick.
facts, but it also features
You
prominently in the
might
Ultimate
be.
Spider-Man video game. A great video game.
Uh-huh. The one we
Highly
talked about
recommend.
before.
It's all coming full circle, baby.
Yeah, okay, that's sick. I wanna read this.
So I would say that
I've never read Spider-Man, so
you should. The Ultimate comics are a really good place to start. They get a bit weird, but
okay.
they're a really good.
Don't they
They're
all?
very
It's Marvel.
2000s. They're very
Yeah.
early 2000s, but they're good.
Alrighty.
And yeah, maybe the
Well,
bad guy of that game would be the scientist trying to get back this suit.
right.
And
Yeah,
then
well,
you
if
can
it's that
either, at
origin,
the
then yeah,
end,
it would be like just make the
yeah,
I
some
mean,
science
you know,
geek.
they say oh, yeah, sorry, you go. I was
Oh
gonna
no,
say,
so
you
listen.
know, they say a comic book story is only as good as its villain or whatever. I mean, you if you do a really good story about Eddie Brock's struggle, this
Hmm,
evil villain could just be like a corporation that wants the symbiote for its own nefarious needs, and then
it's not
Venom
really
or
about them.
Eddie Brock,
It
yeah,
is about the
and then
internal
Eddie kind of
struggle.
has to make like that choice. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I like this. I want this game. It's probably more likely to get made than my game
Yeah.
is.
I just
Um,
want that Paragon Renegade system, but for Venom. I think that's a
oh,
cool
100%.
system.
He's a character that works for as well.
Exactly. That's the most. It didn't really work with Spider-Man and Web of Shadows. It was a fun game, but yeah, the morality system was a bit. I don't know. Like
Because you know who's
one of
gonna
the
go and punch a
examples.
dog with Spider-Man? Um,
One of the examples was like you're with Mary Jane at the time, and the
yeah.
bad guy option is to just cheat on her with Black Cat. And you're like, that's very out of character.
Wait, cheat on, like all the way, or
Like you
just
do
like
it.
kissing?
Oh no, you just do makeouts and like I pick you. I want to be with
Ah,
you. Fuck Mary
okay.
Jane. But don't fuck
I
her
was gonna say
because I
this is
want
like
you.
a early game from the 2000s, and it's
Yeah.
Spider-Man. They wouldn't put any naughty stuff in there.
Okay,
Um,
there was one like there was a gang fight out, and I think one of the options is just let them fight it out. I'm
wow.
not Spider-Man. I'm just gonna let them kill each other. And you're like that.
That's
Doesn't
Spider-Man
feel like
2 when he
Spider-Man.
gives up. When he gives up,
Oh,
he's
maybe it
like, "I'm
is.
Spider-Man no more." He just eats the hot dog. That's that scene. I
Maybe I am. Okay, ignore me. Maybe it was actually
think it's
perfect.
no, your idea is perfect, but the game
Ah,
is flawed if it's Spider-Man.
doesn't
If
work
it's
for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man and morality, I don't think it works unless there's like a story reason for it, like he's giving up because his powers aren't working like Spider-Man 2, the best Spider-Man movie ever made, don't at me. Um,
It's oncoming, but that's okay.
so that's fine. You could be wrong.
Yeah, so can you, dude. It's all good.
Anyways, was there
It's time
anything
for the
else you
fun
want to
part.
say on your idea? Yeah, shall we
I
move
don't
on?
think
Oh,
so.
before we get into the next segment, I think it's time for another news break.
News break, game break, news break.
Did you hear that Square Enix is working on a Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Oh. Now, hang on a minute.
Apparently,
Square Enix. Now that them and Marvel. That sounds familiar. Did they do any other Marvel
they
games?
did
Maybe.
something recently. What was it called?
God.
Oh yeah, the Avengers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
God.
forgot because it's so forgettable and nobody plays it
So
anymore.
I don't think that this is official yet. I saw this from Press Start, Australia's own. Uh, so that
Mhm.
they're game journalists. So they brought up, and apparently it's Jason Schreier reporting through Bloomberg.
Oh, he
So
is very okay.
he's
No,
one of the
if Jason,
best. Yeah,
if Jason Schreier's saying it, that's confirmed, basically.
it's definitely happening. Yeah, so it looks like at E3, Square Enix is gonna be part of like their big like headlining thing, a Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Right.
No idea what it's going to be. I just am appalled with Square Enix right now. I don't think that they should be making this game. I
We
think
don't have a dev
anybody
yet,
else
do
could
we?
do it. I
We've
think
got
there
Square Enix
was,
as
and I
a
think that
publisher.
it's Eidos, which they did like Eidos
Oh,
Montreal. I think they did the Tomb Raider games,
okay.
but still, it's like it
Look,
can
that
still end up to being a shitty multiplayer loot shooter Destiny clone or whatever.
the moment has loot in it. I'm
Um,
not interested. I just can't. I don't fuck with loot.
It's the damage numbers for me. If they show a trailer and there's damage numbers,
Oh,
will
oh
not
dearie
be
me.
happy. Yes, that's the exciting comic book Marvel gaming news that's coming out.
Maybe it'll be
And
good, but I
hopefully,
doubt it.
I mean, E3 is like this week and next week. Well, it's next. Well, I don't know when the episode's coming out, so it may have already happened. By the time the episode's out. So,
Who knows?
but
Hopefully
that's
not.
what's happening. Hopefully not. But that is what's happening. Um, get excited for Square Enix's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm
That
not
ends.
gonna. I
I'm
refuse.
I'm so excited.
Game break, news break,
But that
over.
ends our game break, news break, game break.
I don't
So we're
like
gonna
that
spin
they've
the
kept to
wheel.
this name, but we're doing it. I actually. Game break, news break, game break. We're spinning the wheel.
So spinning the
Do
wheel.
we want
This
to
is
explain
the
spin the wheel one more
let's
time?
explain this. So for our section 3 or segment 3 or part 3 of this podcast, um, we're gonna spin a wheel. I think it's got 15 ideas on it. Obviously, you can't see the wheel. It's audio
It has
only.
20. It
But
has 20
it
different
has
genres.
20. There we go. It's got 20 different video game genres. And whatever it lands on, be that puzzle or action RPG or anything like that, whatever's on there, I skimmed the list. Um, we will quickly try and hash out an idea for a game for Venom in that genre. And it could be anything. So it could be really funny. You know what?
Is this
This
going
is
to
a
go
good
well?
one
Who
for the
knows?
next episode. It might go well, might go terribly. I've had a great idea for the next episode. When I was a kid,
Mhm.
played these games for my brothers who are vision impaired, and they were like games designed for blind people, so they were just audio only.
Ooh.
I think that we should put that
I'll put it in right
on the
now.
next list. You want to put it in right now?
I'm going to put it in
All
right now.
right, chuck it in because it could be really. It's gonna land on
Audio.
that too.
Absolutely will.
Audio only experience.
We have 21 ideas.
21 ideas.
Here we go. I'm going to
Drinking
spin the
age in
wheel.
America. Let's spin the wheel. Bum, ba-dum, 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 bup, 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 bup.
You are not going to believe this.
It's audio only, isn't it?
It's audio only.
Alright, well,
Fuck me. Of course
how do
it
we
was.
that's insane. How do you make that into a Venom game?
What
Does
is an
he have
audio only game? I don't
Right,
know what this
okay.
is.
So, I think the game was like Doom or something, but it was basically a black screen
Mhm.
and everything in the environment had sound attached to it in some way.
Okay.
So then if you were walking towards it, it would play sound back at you. So then you would know to avoid it, like walls and stuff. It had a whole bunch of audio cues. I don't remember it very well. I'm regretting this, but we're gonna forge
You're gonna
through.
you're gonna
Um,
push through.
and yeah, so basically they would yeah, like everything was like audio cues and stuff. It was like if you were walking around in a dark room and there's shit being shouted at you to tell you where to go. And I'm just like, how do you do that for Venom? How do you do that for anything that's not like a regular first person shooter? Because I think it works for first person shooters. Um,
How does it work? Okay, we're gonna cheat a little bit.
yeah,
Could we do it with, like, make it a text-based adventure, but it's narrated?
yeah, I think that counts because it's audio.
Yeah. So you
And
have
as
stuff
we,
like, you walk through, you see two doors. Do you pick the left or the right? I mean, you don't see two. Uh, uh, uh. There are two doors. Do you go through the left or
yeah,
the right?
but yeah, I think that works. But what has it got to do with Venom? How do we tie Venom into it? Who's the player character in this fictional game?
I
Eddie
kind of just want to
Brock?
steal
Are we
your
playing as
idea.
Venom?
I feel
I
like your
think
idea works well for an audio.
that's a good point. Yeah. All
So if we
right.
can make it a horror or a similar to, maybe you
So you're
play
Peter Parker.
maybe instead of
Oh,
being
sorry.
Peter, you just play as a civilian.
Who's been infested by the symbiote? Who's been taken over?
Oh, okay, not even that. What if the idea is that you've got Spider-Man and Venom fighting,
Yeah.
and you're a civilian, and
Oh, and you're a civilian. You have to avoid it.
you have to avoid Venom and try and get to Spider-Man, or to get out of the building.
I'd say probably get
And
out of the
so,
building.
yeah,
You wouldn't want
probably.
to distract Spider-Man when he's in a fight.
Well, like, as you said, walking, you hear different sounds. As you hear, like, the floor go from thud, 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 thud to squelching, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Because
that's
then
like
he's
the
stepping on the
Venom.
symbiote.
Yeah, so you've got to try and avoid that.
Ooh, I like
Because that
that.
would work as an audio cue. Even in game, it could work. Maybe you've been blinded by the symbiote and you have to try and make
Yeah,
your way out.
I would say cheat a little bit. You've
Hmm.
got a tiny bit of vision, but it's like low vision. And then like at least there's some visual thing there for some
Yeah,
horror elements, but it's mainly
it is
all
sound.
audio cues. It's all first person. You're walking around.
May I just say that we're really stupid?
Yeah.
What is one of Venom's most famous common weaknesses?
Oh my god, it's sound.
It's
It's like
sound.
loud noises.
So if we hear Venom, if we start to hear Venom coming, we have to make as much noise as we possibly can to try and
Yeah,
spook him off.
that'd be cool.
Or you have to maybe if
Or
you're walking around,
find
you have to find
items.
places that are louder than the others, and you know he won't come back.
Yeah,
You know you're safe in this area, in this bell tower area. You know
that'd be so cool.
that's a.
This
It's definitely a
this
horror.
game
It's definitely
is
taking off yours, but
oh yeah. This game is never getting made because it's again, it's far too niche. It's like
none
mine
of them
is
are.
niche.
This
Well,
is ultimate niche.
yours I could see being a thing.
Yeah, fair.
Mine is niche. This is niche. Um,
It's as a quick aside, it's really good you told me the like that you're doing a horror before we started the podcast
yeah.
because I was thinking exactly the same thing and quickly had to pivot
Oh,
to
oh,
something
I'm so
else.
sorry.
No, that is fine. Yours was a much better idea anyway. But I still get to pitch a horror game through this, and that's pretty good.
Yes. Oh, this would be creepy as hell and
Yeah, so
interesting.
using sound to both find out where you are and as a weapon,
Yeah.
I feel is a really
Okay.
cool idea.
You know how I brought up Daredevil?
Hmm.
Because my idea for like you could do something where like if you make sound, it then gives you more of the environment to see in the game.
That kind of like
But
the wavelength.
yeah, wavelength stuff. But I feel like if you're just a regular civilian, you don't have that ability like Daredevil has. But like it could be a
Yeah,
gameplay mechanic just so you could feel your way around. But also save it for the Daredevil podcast.
save it
Um,
for that.
which we'll do if he's in Spider-Man 3.
Which you won't be,
Um, he won't be. Wishful
but
thinking.
maybe.
But yeah, um,
I feel like that
this game
works. I
could
feel like
be.
that kind of
I
creepy
like it.
horror. Maybe not specifically horror,
It'd
more the
be a little.
puzzle elements of
Yeah,
Resident Evil, where it's creepy, but it's
yeah.
got a goal.
It's not quite Resident Evil 7 creepy.
No,
Uh, just straight up horror. I like that.
I think
Is
it's
there
cute.
anything
I think
else
it
that we
would
have to
work.
say on it?
Look,
Let's make
we
this
kind of
game.
got
Nah.
kind of absolutely got fucked over by you adding that last minute.
I know, right? What are the other options? What else could it have been?
I had such a great idea for an idle game. I had an idea for all this different stuff, but no, we had to get the audio one that we added last minute. You
Can
motherfucker.
you explain what an idle game is? Is that like those
That's
clickers on
like,
your phones and stuff?
yeah, your clickers on your phone.
What's your idea for an idle game? Now I want to hear this.
It would just be, I mean, classic idle stuff of the symbiote growing and passing on to people, and like you'd eat, instead of it being like you get more cookies, it's people eaten, and then you could infect more people, and it would grow and grow and grow, and eventually you have to reset, and resetting, like prestiging or whatever,
Yeah,
would be like, oh, you've eaten all of that planet, move on to another planet,
it
and
was the
start again.
people who played like Cookie Clicker in high school that shit me.
I
Um,
loved it. I would have shat you a lot. I
it
got
was.
way too addicted to that.
I don't get it. I don't get it. You're just clicking.
Yep, sure are. It's watching the big number go higher and higher, and it feels good.
Probably everyone probably got RSI from it.
Almost.
Um,
I had an internship for
yeah,
uni, and I
and you
wanted it was
missed
all
it because you
online
were
because of
playing
the
Cookie
pandemic.
Clicker.
Legit, like I would have it open on another tab. It wasn't Cookie Clicker; it was another one. But I had it open on
Oh, I
another
was gonna
tab.
say, wait a minute. Pandemic was only last year. You were playing Cookie
Yeah,
Clicker 2020.
no, but it was just as sad. Yeah, I was just had this clicker open on another tab because the calls got really boring, and I just alt tab hit
Yeah,
in
of
and just
course.
click some shit for a bit, and then someone would ask a question that I wasn't paying attention to.
That's insane.
Yeah, I
If
feel
I
like
was
our audio
gonna,
game works.
I
Oh,
think
if you
so.
want
I
to know,
think I agree. I was gonna say if I was bored at uni last year, bro, just turn off the class and play an actual video game on the
I,
console.
as a quick aside, had a I had a class where like the worst thing possible could have happened.
Mm.
Um, the class was happening, and someone said, "Oh, the teacher was like, oh, so what do you think about this, Jack?" And those were the words that woke me up because I had just absolutely fallen asleep on Zoom. Luckily, I didn't have my
Yeah.
camera on. That was fine. And I absolutely panicked. It was a story writing one,
Right.
and I knew generally what we were talking about was like different types of uh, points of view. So I was just like, well, I don't know if it really works, but I quite like the unreliable narrator. I think that's a lot of fun and a good idea. There was like 5 seconds of silence, and she just went, okay. Well, moving on. What does someone else think? I have no idea if I got away with it, but she never questioned me, and that's what
Oh
matters.
no. That's funny.
It's fun.
All right.
It was a
But
panic.
yeah, I guess circling back
Mhm.
to our audio game idea, I think it works. I think it's really cool. I think we
I think
succeeded.
we've done what we could with that very limiting.
I think we will take that option out because I have this funny feeling that
Maybe.
it's gonna keep coming back.
There is a chance.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what?
that's cool.
If it's been used, I'm gonna take it out.
Yeah, that's also a good idea. So then we don't have 2 episodes in a row where we
Yeah.
do something stupid.
And then
Anyways,
after 20 episodes, I'll
um,
reset it, and we all bets are back on.
all bets are off. Audio game every 20 episodes.
You
Um,
better believe it.
all right, so I think that's everything. I think
I think
that's
that's
the
everything.
episode.
Thank you very much for
Um,
if you're sticking by this far. Thank you
if
very
you
much for
stuck
listening to our
around,
first episode.
and I very much appreciate it. So,
Very good.
how do we? As this first episode, we don't know how we round this out yet. Oh,
Don't
right,
worry,
we got to plug ourselves.
I
Do
got
you
the
want to
plugs
plug
good.
ourselves?
All right, here we
Yeah.
go. All right. Make sure to like, rate 5 stars on whatever podcasting platform you may have. Give us a good rating. That we'd very much appreciate it if you liked it, of course.
Give us feedback. That's the
Absolutely.
important
Oh,
one.
you know what? You
If
can
you-
give us feedback, specifically me. Uh, Twitter.com/aforgottendonut. That's how you find me.
Ah, that's right. You're on Twitter. I'm not on. Well, I'm
That's
kind of on Twitter, but I'm gonna make a new Twitter, so we won't worry about that Twitter. Um,
I reckon I'm gonna make an Adaptapals Twitter.
that's
Hopefully
a good
that name
idea.
won't be taken.
I
So
God,
hopefully
I
it'll
hope
be
not.
twitter.com/Adaptapals, or it's gonna be, and I'll edit that
Adaptapals
in
2.
later. I'll edit that in later. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Adaptapals Pod, who knows? It'll be in the description. All of these links will be in the description. Make sure to
Yeah,
follow myself, twitch.tv/aforgottendonut. We're going
that's
to
the
be streaming
one.
a bunch of games. We might be streaming, if you want some hints on the future episodes, I'm going to hopefully be streaming some of the future topics, some of the games we can talk about.
Ooh,
So, if you want little hints, want to know what's going on, check
I
over
would do,
my stream.
but as you know, I don't play video games.
That's a shame. But if you ever
But I
did,
actually do. If I
yeah,
did.
if you ever did play a game, where would you play these games?
So you would find me at twitch.tv is it forward slash? It is
I
twitch.tv
just say slash.
/ Dustin_Caldwell. That's I'm not gonna spell it out. It'll be in the
Don't spell it.
description.
It'll be in the description.
It's Dustin_Caldwell. It's a little picture of me, a little cartoon me on Twitch, and I stream pretty much whatever I want. But yeah, I do like the idea of probably hinting at topics. So if you
I
liked
think
the sound of my voice and you want to see my face or Jack's face, come
hi.
check us out on Twitch. Sometimes we stream together, and a lot of the time we stream solo,
It's
and
good
it'll be
fun.
awesome if you come hang out. It's very fun.
Make sure to subscribe or follow this podcast. I don't know the correct terminology quite yet.
Neither do
And
I. I
look
don't know
forward to
how they
future
work.
episodes. Next week we'll be doing something. Who knows? We'll hint
Something.
at it
It'll be
maybe.
there'll be a hint somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you very,
Maybe.
very much once again for listening. Have a
I
lovely,
agree.
lovely night, day, or whatever you happen to be listening to this.
Goodbye, everybody.
Many kisses, much love.